engineer.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We're going to call the council meeting of Monday, August 12th to order. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and after the pledge, I ask that everyone please continue to stand. We're going to observe a little thing here in moments of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today marks the 1 year since the tragic explosion in Rustic Ridge that claimed the lives of 6 Plum Boro residents. We remember Casey Klontz, Kagan Klontz, Heather Orvitz, Paul Orvitz, Kevin Sabunya, and Michael Thomas. Their loss has left a profound impact on our community. Let us also support each other during this difficult time as we continue to heal together. Please join in a moment of silence to honor their memory and reflect on the strength and resilience of our community in the face of this tragedy. Thank you. Mr. Sabozlik, please do a roll call.
Mr. Dern.
Here.
Mr. Majernik.
Here.
Mr. Purcell.
Here.
Mr. Schlock.
Here.
Mr. Seitz.
Here.
Mr. Taylor is not here tonight. Ms. Rossler is absent tonight. Mayor Harry Schlegel.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report for the month of July 2024. I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Bajernik. Do I have a second? I have a second from Mr. Schlock. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the expenses for the month of July 2024. I have a motion by Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Mr. Purcell. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. A motion to approve the minutes of the July 8th, 2024 council meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. I have a second from Mr. Schlock. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Brings us to recognition of achievements in the community, and at first the mayor is going to swear in 2 officer promotions from our police department.
Thank you. Would Sergeant Dubinsky and Justin Golnowski please come up? And if your families are here, they're welcome to join you up front as well. Oh, sit down, guys. I gotta wait. I screwed up. No, sit right in the front. Okay, promote him first.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to do civic announcements. I'm sorry, recognition of achievements in the community.
Thank you. I'll wait till you're gonna
You
promote
can't
him.
do that. You can't do that.
Not yet.
Can't do that.
Okay, can't do it now, guys. All right, but I do have a couple of things I want to say with the gentlemen that were involved in that tragic accident on Halton Road. Wasn't tragic, excuse me, due to their efforts on Halton Road. If you're here, would you please come up front? Thank you. Mr. Robert, and now Sergeant or Patrolman Saunders. Thank you for that, sir. For you scouts One of the things that happened is heroes are people who do extraordinary things under stress. These gentlemen came upon an accident. A lady had a medical emergency, took out a street sign, a telephone pole, one of our police radar signs, hit another pole, hit a fire hydrant, flipped over, car burst in flames. And she was in the car. Mr., is it Dosh? How do I pronounce it? I guess he's not here tonight. Whereas, one of the greatest actions a person can do is save the life of another human being. And whereas Plum Boro recognizes and values heroism and acts of courage by citizens. And whereas on July 17, 2024, there was a single vehicle accident due to a medical emergency involving an older woman. Her vehicle struck a street sign, sheared off a Verizon pole, crashed into another Verizon pole near the intersection of Northern Avenue and Halton Road. She struck a fire hydrant upside down in a ditch with the car enveloped in flames and the woman driver trapped within. And whereas, when Plum Officer Saunders arrived on scene, the driver was being pulled out of the back seat of her vehicle, which was overturned and on fire. Jeff Colton, Robert Fink, and Brandon Ravino were the good Samaritans who pulled the woman out of her vehicle. And whereas Robert Dush and Plum Officer Saunders attempted to extinguish the flames with portable fire extinguisher as the trio rescued the trapped driver. And whereas Robert Dush, by stopping to help a person in need, not only saved a life, the individual from serious injury, but saved her life as well. And whereas Robert Dush decidedly avoided a tragedy, and therefore is honored for his bravery, responsibility, and caring. Now therefore I, Harry R. Schlegel, Mayor and Plum Council, congratulate and honor Robert Dush for his bravery and selflessness. We hereby thank him for his act of compassion and bravery in saving a life and avoiding a catastrophe. Signed this 12th day of August, 2024. Now the three gentlemen standing up here, Officer Saunders, I'm going to read one because they're basically the same. This is a proclamation honoring the heroism of Brandon Ravino. Whereas, one of the greatest actions a person can do is save the life of another human being. And whereas Plum Boro recognizes and values heroism and acts of courage by citizens. And whereas on July 17, 2024, there was a single vehicle accident due to a medical emergency involving an older woman. Her vehicle struck a street sign, sheared off a Verizon pole, crashed into another Verizon pole near the intersections of Northern Avenue and Halton Road, struck a fire hydrant, and came to rest upside down in a ditch with the car enveloped in flames and the woman driver trapped within. Whereas, when Plum Officer Saunders arrived on scene, the driver was being pulled out of the back seat of her vehicle, which was overturned and on fire. Jeff Colton, Robert Fink, and Brandon Ravino were the good Samaritans who pulled the woman out of her vehicle. And whereas Robert Dush and Plum Officer Sanders attempted to extinguish the flames with portable fire extinguishers as the trio rescued the trapped driver. And whereas Brandon Ravino, by stopping to help a person in need, not only saved the individual from serious injury, but saved her life as well. And whereas these gentlemen decidedly avoided a tragedy, and therefore is honored for their bravery, responsibility, and caring. And now therefore I, Harry R. Schlegel, Mayor and Plum Council, congratulate and honor them for their bravery and selflessness. We hereby thank them for their acts of compassion and bravery in saving a life and avoiding a catastrophe. Gentlemen, thank you. You did not have to stop. You did. And that is very much appreciated. That's what heroes are. They don't know what's going to happen when they die. Gentlemen, Jeff. Thank you, man. We appreciate what you did. Justin, thank you. I know you've been doing your good. So, and I have one more. Would the Boy Scouts come up, please? And I don't want you looking at me, I want you to look back at the cameras, because they need to see you. I'm ugly and you're not. This is a proclamation honoring BSA Troop 111 on their 60th birthday. Whereas, beginning with its incorporation on February 8, 1910, the mission of the Boy Scouts of America has been to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes. And whereas William D. Boyce, a Plum native, is the founding father of the BSA, and whereas the values of the Scout oath and law include, among other concepts, the pledge to do duty to God and our country and help other people at all times. And whereas the success of Scouting has been a culmination of numerous hours of selfless volunteerism by many leaders and community organizations whose ideas and generosity help shape the lives of many of our youth. And whereas Boy Scout Troop 111 is celebrating 60 years of scouting in Plum. And whereas Troop 111 celebrated its first Eagle Scout in 1968 and has since guided over 80 scouts in achieving the rank of Eagle Scout, the highest award in scouting. Now therefore I, Harry R. Schlegel, Mayor of Plum, do hereby proclaim Saturday, August 24th, 2024, Boy Scout Troop 111 Day, in honor of their service to the youth of this community and to the borough at large. Proclaim this 12th day of August, 2024. Thank you, guys, and if you would give us to your leader, please. Thank you. Oh, some of you guys are staying to get badges or something? No? Okay. I thought some of you had to go get a badge for attending a council meeting. That's it, sir. Thank you.
Any other recognitions of achievements?
Nope.
Okay. Civic announcements?
Hi, I'm Pam Calfo, the director at the Plum Library. I just want to thank everyone who attended our summer reading program at the library this year. It was fantastic. We were extremely busy, so it was great to see so many people. We're taking a little break. We have a few things going on in August, but we're catching our breaths a little bit after a very, very busy but fun summer. And then we'll be back with our full slate of all sorts of programming for all ages in the month of September. We also have our fall book sale at the library. It's Saturday, September 7th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. At the library, we will be collecting donations for that book sale on August 26th through the start of the sale. So if you have any questions, please give us a call or visit our website. September is also Love Your Library Month, so you will, throughout the community, hopefully be seeing some Love Your Library signs. And any donations we receive in the month of September are eligible to be matched, thanks to a fantastic grant from the Jack Buncher Foundation. So any questions, please reach out, and hope to see you at the library book sale coming up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, citizen comments on agenda items. We have no one signed up. So we'll go right into council actions.
Mr. President, may I make an announcement, please?
You sure can.
Tonight, Penn Hills Mayor Pauline Calabrese has joined us to recognize. Thank you. And Chief, if you have a couple minutes, would you please escort her honor down to tour the police station? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Majernik, Planning and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to adopt Resolution 994-24, authorizing the submission of a Gaming Economic Tourism Fund, GEDTF, grant application for the improvement of the old Borough building site on New Texas Road.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Majernik. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Seitz. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
On behalf of the Planning and Economic Development Committee, I move to appoint Skip Taylor to the Agricultural Security Area ASA Committee as the representative from Plum Council.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Schlock. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Majernik. On to Mr. Seitz on Personnel and Management.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. So on behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to approve a new employment contract for Landy Conley, Plum Boro Police Chief, as recommended by the Personnel Committee of Council.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second? I have a second from Mr. Majernik. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Chief Conley is here tonight. I'd just like to personally thank him for his continued service to the borough for many years, and we're just very lucky to have him. So Chief, congratulations, and keep doing a great job. Thank you.
I second that. The morale down there is sensational. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also, on behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to promote Jim Driano to the position of Assistant Borough Manager as recommended by the Personnel Committee of Council.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Purcell. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'd also like to recognize Jim Driano, who's here tonight with his family, and he's been working for the borough for several years now. And we think Jim's going to do a great job in his new position. We're lucky to have him too, and much success to you, Jim. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jim. Thank you.
Also, on behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to hire DJ Housley as Assistant Borough Manager as recommended by the Personnel Committee of Council.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second? I have a second from Mr. Schlock. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries.
And I know that DJ is here tonight too, and I know DJ has worked with the borough before. So DJ, welcome aboard. I know you do a great job. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome aboard.
I'm going to go out of order on these next two for a second, just to accommodate the mayor's forthcoming swearing-ins. On behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to reclassify Kathleen Toney to the position of Secretary of the Department of Community Development as recommended by the Personnel Committee of Council.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second by Mr. Majernik. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
On behalf of the Personnel Committee, I move to authorize the advertisement for two positions in the Department of Public Works.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Purcell. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries.
Okay. Also on behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, we have two police promotions tonight. First, I move to promote Patrolman Justin Volnowski to the position of Patrol Corporal as recommended by the Civil Service Commission, the Police Chief, and the Personnel Committee of Council.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Purcell. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries.
Aye. Also on behalf of the Personnel Management Committee, I move to promote Sergeant Eric Dubinsky to the position of Administrative Lieutenant as recommended by the Civil Service Commission, the Police Chief, and the Personnel Committee of Council.
I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Seitz. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second from Mr. Majernik. All those in favor? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that's all I have, and now we'll let the mayor do his thing.
Thank you. Gentlemen, now's the time. By the way, I have 12 whereases in here. Is that okay?
I'm not sure that's enough.
That's 12 too many.
Justin, would you raise your hand, please? And I'm glad to see you're in the proper uniform. Pronounce your name in full. I
Justin Bolaski,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the constitutions of the United States
the constitutions of the United States
and of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
and the ordinance of Plum Boro,
and the ordinance of Plum Boro,
and will well and faithfully perform the duties
and will well and
faithfully
faithfully perform those duties
imposed upon me as a corporal
imposed upon me as a corporal
of the Plum Boro Police
of the Plum Boro Police
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my abilities,
and that I will serve the United States,
and that I will serve the United States,
the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and Plum Boro
and Plum Boro,
honestly and faithfully.
honestly and faithfully.
I will obey the orders of the officers
I will obey the orders of the officers
and officials placed over me according to law.
and the officials placed over me according to law.
Congratulations, Corporal.
Thank you.
I need you to sign this before we leave. And Z.
Yes, sir.
Would you raise your hand and pronounce your name? I
I, Eric Stavinsky,
accept the duties and responsibilities
accept the duties and responsibilities
of the position of Lieutenant of Police
of the position of Lieutenant of Police
of Plum Boro,
of Plum Boro,
and do solemnly and sincerely swear
and do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are or may be established, which are or may be established for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend the Constitution of said Commonwealth,
maintain, and defend the Constitution of said Commonwealth,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will be alert and vigilant
that I will be alert and diligent
to enforce the criminal laws
to enforce the criminal laws
of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
that I will not be influenced
that I will not be influenced
in any matter
in any manner
on account of my personal bias
on account of my personal
or prejudice,
or prejudice,
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
execute the duties of my office
execute the duties of my office
as a Lieutenant of Police
as a Lieutenant of Police
according to the best of my skills, abilities, and judgment.
according to the best of my skills, abilities, and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Z, you're no longer Z, it's LT. I need to sign off your copy. And that's your copy. You need to sign all three. That's your copy. And just give it to the chief. Or no. Sign it back here if you'd like. Thank you. John, thank you. Congratulations.
Good luck, be safe.
Mr. President, do we list the motion to reclassify Kathy?
We did that. Okay, that's it, Harry, you're done?
That's it.
Okay. Mr. Purcell, on behalf of the Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Public Safety Committee, I move to sign onto the opioid settlement amended order as requested by Allegheny County.
Mr. Purcell has a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Seitz. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. On behalf of Parks and Recreation, there are none. So that moves us to Mr. Schlock, behalf of the Finance Committee.
Thanks, Mr. President. On behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to authorize an agreement with Keystone Collections Group for the collection of delinquent real estate tax effective January 1st, 2025.
Mr. Schlock has a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Majernik. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Sabazley, our Borough Manager, would you reiterate, is this going to be a change in service, or what exactly does this entail?
Well, actually, for this motion for delinquent real estate tax, currently our real estate tax collector collects current and delinquent. In this move, she will no longer collect delinquent. We'll move that out to Keystone Collections. So it is a change, but like I said before, the current real estate tax collector is the person that currently collects that.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
On behalf of the Finance Committee, I move to authorize an agreement with Keystone Collections Group for the collection of current and delinquent garbage and stormwater fees effective January 1st, 2025.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Schluck. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Purcell. We do have discussion
Dave,
on this.
you want to reiterate?
So, same question. So this is a change in service. So for the last number of years, the Plum Boro Municipal Authority has collected the garbage and stormwater fees. We are proposing to move that out to Keystone Collections. Over probably the last year or two, when Michael Thomas was still here, we started talking about this idea of moving the billing away from the authority. The authority has expressed the fact that they are no longer interested in collecting this, and we feel that the customer service will be better with this change in service. So.
And it can be billed quarterly or annually.
So yeah, we've been lucky, for the last 10 years that we've been able to piggyback on the bills sent out monthly by the authority. We're still working out the details, and staff will be putting together some educational material for the public. But the payments will be either at the residence option yearly with some sort of discount or quarterly. And right now, part of our population in East Oakmont pays quarterly, I believe, to the authority. So it is a little bit of a change in how it's billed, but the terms of the billing and the cost of the service will remain unchanged.
Understand. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, any other discussion?
I'd like to take a second just to thank the Municipal Water Authority for sending out those bills and saving us considerable money to the taxpayers that we wouldn't have had to, that we didn't have to shell out every month in a mailing. So I just wanted to make sure we got that over there.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Purcell, you don't have anything for roads, equipment, and grounds. If the scouts would like to leave, we'll give you a moment to, or if you want to sit around for the rest of the meeting, it's up to.
Congratulations, guys, and happy birthday.
Okay, we're going to continue with the meeting. Next up is the mayor's report.
Again, thank you, Mr. President. Our uniformed patrol officers responded to 1,113 calls last month, in the month of July, and that was about a 16% increase over the previous month. Now my part, the idiot report. The ATS radar speed display sign was deployed at 2052 Halton Road northbound from July 4th to July 18th and collected the following information for a total of 34,903 vehicles passed that sign. And then some idiot decided to do 73 miles per hour. The radar speed display sign was at 7663 Salzburg Road northbound from July 3rd to July 16th. In that 13-day period, 54,726 vehicles were timed over that 13-day period. And again, some idiot decided to do 69 miles per hour. Now, we are down one radar sign because of the vehicle accident. And has the other one been repaired, Chief? Or in the process of getting repaired?
No, we're still waiting for the insurance company to get back to us.
Thank you. Now, the favorite part of my report, thoughtful citizens. On July 6th, Susan Kearns of Plum Street donated numerous new toys to be used in the police departments for various causes and events during the year. Officer Iacchini accepted the toys on behalf of the department, and Crystal also serves as one of the department's ACCAPT officers. On July 8th, Scott Matthews, one of the managers of Bimbo's Bakery located on Pine Valley Drive, provided Officer Perry DeLuca with a variety of Enterman's donuts and pastries while he was at the facility answering an alarm. And on July 16th, Greg Frusco of Tampico Court delivered ice cream bars and popsicles for our officers who were on a crash scene for a prolonged period of time during a 90-degree day for an overturned triaxle dump truck. On July 17th, Lisa DeVita of Plum took time out of her day just to call and advise our record administrator, Judy Burgoyne, of what an outstanding job Jason Saunders did at the crash on Halton Road, where the individual had sheared off a utility pole fire hydrant and wound up in a ditch overturned and on fire. On July 19th, Patrick Rowe of Red Oak July delivered Nancy B's cookies to our department in appreciation of a welfare check our department had conducted earlier in this month. On July 23rd, David Liskett took the time out of his day to email and inform the chief of what a great job Officer Jeff Banicki did during a water main break that occurred on Impala Drive. When Jeff arrived on scene and promptly grabbed a push broom and assisted him with keeping the water out of his garage and limiting the damage until the water authority was able to shut the water flow off. Jeff's actions helped save and prevented additional damage to property inside of Mr. Liska's garage. On July 28th, Patty Powell of Greensburg Road delivered food from their graduation party to the station. Officers were able to enjoy pulled pork, chicken, pasta, salad, green beans, and much more. I'm glad they had a nice healthy lunch. And today, I got a call from the chief, so I can't make this statement anymore. Although it was very late in the day, that there was cookies downstairs so I could come down and enjoy them. I didn't go down because I figured it'd be all gone before I got there. So with that, and I point out about what's happening with our officers. Officer Banicki did not have to stop to help that house. But he respects our community, and he swore to protect and defend, and he stopped and helped. That's because of the symbiotic relationship between our community and our police department, and it's very much appreciated. And what's also very much appreciated is all the thoughtful citizens who come forward each and every month to say thank you. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before we move on to the committee reports, I don't know if everybody's noticed the side things here. Mr. Sabazli, if you explain that, please.
Sure. So if you look at the TVs on either side of the council chambers, you'll see a conceptual plan that we're presenting tonight to those in attendance and the public. For the last 5 or 6 months, we've been working with our borough engineer, KU Resources, on something that we would like to do in remembrance of the individuals in Rustic Ridge that died in the tragic explosion last year. We're working to build in the rear of our building a gazebo with landscaping. You can see on the conceptual plan, there's some concrete work there. Most of this work we're hoping to be done with our own workforce, and we're putting this together. I do want to thank publicly KU Resources. They have donated their time to putting together this conceptual plan and moving forward if there's any stormwater permitting necessary for this, any other items They've said that they will provide that at no charge. So we're working to get this done sometime in the next year. It'll be a nice place for the public as well as our employees to go sit quietly and remember those that passed in last year's accident. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, committee reports. We have nothing to discuss about the Intergovernmental Cooperation Committee. So that takes me to Mr. Seitz with the Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. So in the Personnel Committee report, Jim Sims officially started in July as the borough's code enforcement officer. The borough has hired an additional part-time recreation assistant to assist with the facility rentals, which brings the total to 6 part-time employees in that department. Emily DeLuce officially began as a tax collector on July 1st, 2024. And finally, the borough still has a job opening posted for an in-house borough engineer, and we're still taking applications for that at this time. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Seitz. Mr. Schlock with Finance.
Thanks, Mr. President. The borough recognized revenues totaling $1,089,487 and incurred expenditures in the amount of $992,385. During July, the borough received $46,342 under the D transfer tax. To date, the borough has received $2.63 million in the current year earned income tax revenues, and this represents 60% of the adopted budget. Through the month of July, the borough has expended 51% of the budget, or $8.16 million. The finance director will be kicking off the 2025 budget year and will review the budget schedule with department heads. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Schlock. Mr. Purcell, Roads, Equipment, and Grants.
Thank you, Mr. President. Roads, Equipment, and Grounds, the 2024 paving project contractor, Derry Construction, started milling and paving in the Holiday Park neighborhood. They are anticipating a project completion date of August 15th, weather permitting. The Abers Creek Road, Holiday Park Drive Stormwater Project, along with the PBMA waterline replacement, are scheduled to start this week. During construction of the waterline, Holiday Park Drive will be limited to 1 lane of traffic. During construction of the stormwater line, Holiday Park Drive will be closed at Fiesta Drive, and Abers Creek Road will be closed at Cayuga Drive for the duration of the project. The joint waterline project with PBMA under Mike Thomas Way has been completed and is fully functional. New road safety barricades were constructed by our Public Works Department personnel, and they will be delivered to the 4 volunteer fire departments in the near future. That is all I have. Thank you.
You want to continue with the public safety, since Ms. Rosso's not here?
I certainly will. What I have under public safety would be a letter, an email received from Steve Marsh, the chief of Logan's Ferry VFD, in recognition of a golf outing that was held to support the 4 Plum Boro fire departments on August 10th, just this past Saturday. I personally wasn't there, but I understand from good sources that it was an excellent time and that they did well. But from Stephen Marsh, Chief of Logan Ferry Fire Department, Vicki, I would like to say a tremendous thank you to the Maines Foundation for hosting an excellent fundraiser on Saturday, August 10th at Rolling Fields Golf Club. The fundraiser proceeds are getting donated to the 4 Plum Fire Departments. This was a truly an amazing event which will continue to make a difference throughout the fire departments. It was completely full of golfers all over the course and backed by some amazing business sponsors. I would also like to thank anyone that individually contributed in any way to make this event possible. Signed by Stephen Marsh, Chief of Logan Ferry. That would conclude that report for public safety.
Thank you, Mr. Purcell. Mr. Bajornik, Planning and Economic Development, please.
Thank you, Mr. Dern. Planning and Economic Development report. The Community Development Department issued 106 permits in July. The Planning Commission met in July to discuss the Olympus Energy Midas compressor building and gave a recommendation for approval. The Zoning Hearing Board met in July and approved a variance for a side yard setback for the construction of a deck. The staff and the developer of Patriot Estates PRD Phase 1 held a pre-construction meeting. Staff participated in a public hearing for the addition of properties to the existing ASA. Code enforcement completed 79 residential and apartment occupancy inspections and addressed 64 violations in July. Additionally, a code enforcement officer attended magisterial court, sent out 23 violation letters, and filed 1 citation. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. McDermott. I have to give an apology to Brian Maloney from Plum EMS. I looked out earlier and I saw you when I walked out, and I was looking at, I didn't see you, I thought you had to leave. So if you want to come up and give your report, I apologize.
All right, I think I got it. No, it's not a problem. I was hiding in the back. That's what EMS does so well. But Brian Maloney, Director of Operations, Plum EMS, and I tell you, it's tough going this late in this meeting, because following the recognition for the heroes, the scouts, the promotions, like, I don't have that much, so it was pretty good. But for the month of July, we were actually pretty busy. We responded to over 250 calls, transported 152 patients, responded to neighboring communities 8 times, and ended up transporting half of those to a hospital. We needed mutual aid into Plum 8 times as well. But the nice thing is, of all the calls needed in Plum, we were able to handle 96.7% of those emergencies in-house. So very proud of the crews for achieving that. Along with running emergency calls, we also did 8 car seat safety checks, gave away 2 free car seats to families in need throughout the community, so that program is still going incredibly well. I had the opportunity to do a presentation at the Plum Community Center on mental health and the importance of taking good care of yourself. And so that went over extremely well. We also started meeting with the Plum Boro School District and the athletic trainers, because football season and sports start to begin. And so it's that opportunity for us to get to know them, them to get to know us, review some of the equipment as well. And this upcoming Monday, up at the school district, is our, like we do it every other year, we do a CPR, AED, first aid, and medical emergency training for the entire faculty and staff of the school district. They even threw some coaches in there, so we're going to be over 500 people in one-day training. It's an intense thing. I did a huge recruitment on that, so really looking forward to it. And then lastly, we've been working for a number of months with the Plum Rotary Club. Thank you, Jess. Plum Boro IT, DPW, Plum Boro Administration. The police are going to be involved in this as well. We're doing our annual car seat safety clinic. This is going to be held on Saturday, September 21st, from 10 a to 1 p. It's going to be actually held up at the DPW building. Perfect opportunity for people to pull in and pull right through that same spot. I've been working with community groups developing flyers, so we're looking forward to another great event. We actually host one of the largest and most successful car seat clinics in this area, so I'm very proud of that as well. So other than that, and flyers will be distributed here very shortly for registration. But questions, comments, a little story to make me smile? Hey. Excellent. Have a good vacation.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney. And Mr. Purcell, if you want to do the Parks and Recreation Committee report, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, Mr. President. I'll try not to drop the ball in calling up the director. Parks and Recreations, trimming and grass maintenance was ongoing at all borough facilities during the month. There have been safety inspections that were completed at the playgrounds and areas around the parks were power washed where necessary. 8 HVAC units were cleaned and serviced at the library. The Pop It and Drop It Million Tab Challenge continues and can be dropped off at various locations throughout the borough. Tabs will be collected through November and then delivered to the Ronald McDonald House. For those of you who may not be familiar, those are the aluminum pull tabs on aluminum cans. You snap them off and save them. There's a couple places throughout the borough that are collecting them in big 5-gallon water jugs. That is all I have for Parks and Rec. If I could just also, I should have under public safety, wanted to take a moment to also thank Chief Lanny Conley for a great job that he's doing with our police department. Continued success and be safe.
That's it. Okay, that brings us to citizens' comments on non-agenda items. And we do have a person signed up, Mr. Emil Heinzinger.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Emil Heinzinger, resident of Plum Boro. I'm sorry. Green button?
Yes, sir.
Do you hear me now?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, Emil Heinzinger. I live on Amy Road in Plum Boro. I've been a resident for 48 years, for what it's worth. I brought my grandson with me tonight, who's going to be a junior in Plum High School. I come here today to talk about pickleball. I'm an avid pickleball player. I've been playing for over 8 years. I love the game so much I became a certified instructor. We want to thank the council and the borough for the beautiful courts at Renton Park. They're absolutely outstanding, and I believe they're getting a lot of use. Did you know that the sport is so popular that it's now in high school gym class? A game that a few years ago none of us heard of, but yet he had pickleball in gym class. When I play at Renton Park, as a pickleball coach, I get requests. People want help. How can we learn to play? How can we get better? But the problem is in Plum Boro, there's no place where somebody can give lessons for residents of Plum Boro. We have brand new courts, and our citizens have paid tax dollars to have these courts built, but yet when they come to me and say, could you help us, I am not allowed to give lessons on the court at Plum Boro. So I'm here today because I suggest that Plum Boro implement some type of a training program, particularly for beginners, to learn how to play the game. We build the courts. We have indoor courts downstairs, and I know occasionally get used for pickleball, and we have these beautiful outdoor courts, but we can't give lessons. So I suggest that we consider that. I'd be willing to volunteer to assist with that endeavor. I work with the municipality of Monroeville and give lessons for them right now, and I'd be willing to do it for the borough. So that's why I'm here today. Anybody have any questions for me?
Are you volunteering to give lessons, or?
Pardon me?
So in giving lessons, are you intending to volunteer to give the lessons? Or are you going to
I
charge for the
volunteer to
lessons?
help start a program in Plum Boro to give lessons to beginners. We have to offer them, and first we have to allow it to happen on the courts in Plum Boro, and then we have to figure out a way to make it happen so the residents can participate.
Yeah, my question was, so let's just say, hypothetically, we open the courts for like 10 o'clock one morning for an hour for lessons.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
If we just opened the courts like one morning, let's say hypothetically 10 o'clock for an hour for you to give lessons, are you volunteering to give the lessons, or are you going to charge?
No, I don't. I put a lot of time and effort into becoming a certified coach. I volunteer to help the borough, figure out a way to do it. I mean, the people want to know. They want to be able to play. So I am not volunteering to do lessons for free. I'm volunteering to help the borough implement a program. I believe that we should. I think we should have a way for beginners, to play pickleball.
Okay.
That's what.
I was just trying to understand what you were volunteering for. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Don't we have open pickleball times that we open up our courts downstairs for people to come in and play?
No different than what we have at Renton Park. So it's, first come, first serve. During the non-summer months, probably last winter, we started a monthly open gymnasium with some different formats. Some of the formats were exclusive pickleball, some of them were exclusive basketball. So depending on the demand, we try and offer what we can. So starting back in the fall, we will have open gym time when residents can sign up for pickleball reservations in the gymnasium.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, I need a motion for adjournment. I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Majernik for adjournment. Do I have a second? Mr. Schlock, any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Michael?